Two Dudes That Game podcast. I'm here with James the Third. I'm Ender, and we got a little bit of news for you today. Not much going on right now
in our world of gaming.
In our world of gaming, I mean, there's always things going on in gaming and different things there. But with the topics that we follow and the things that we've been talking about, it's kind of been a little bit stale as we wait for some major updates to get pushed through. We did have some interesting qualifiers here in the Call of Duty League, and then some news on who is going to be showing up to some events that some people liked, some people didn't like, and we'll kind of get into that as we go through it. So hopefully we have a really compact, short, and sweet podcast for you here this week and get you some news. I hope you also, if you like what we're doing, hit subscribe, like, all those different things, all those different areas. This is also a audio podcast that you can find on your different podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Overtune, all those things. So since I'm done paying the bills, let's get right in to the first topic here. And we got a little CDL action, the post-Scump era, the post-Scump for OPTIC. And James, as now being a new OPTIC fan, someone that was never going to watch it again after he got mad at me because Scump decides to retire, like I have a lot of say in what he's going to decide to do. You decided to go ahead and watch more than I did.
Yeah,
over the weekend
know. I
because
spoiled it for you apparently.
Well, I had started watching it and never got to finish it, the actual thing, and then you told me, that OPTIC won. But you left out a very key point there of that OPTIC decided to reverse sweep to win, not just a standard win.
So I'm watching this and I get in my hot tub, pull out the cell phone, I'm watching it. I'm like, oh God, they suck so bad. I thought they were good. They were getting smoked. Just couldn't seem like they could turn the tide.
Well,
right?
let's set the dynamic. They are playing Atlanta FaZe. They're playing one of the best teams in the league. So and they're still a new team with not a lot of practice time under their belts.
Yeah, I understand that.
No one was really expecting that. So let's
give
them some credit. And they also played very well in their first game.
So they get a 2-0 lead, Atlanta FaZe, and I was like, this is dumb. Like, nothing's gonna happen. And then game 3 comes around and they look pretty good, and I'm like, all right, okay, here we go. I can see.
We have a game 3.
Something.
So we get into game 3, which is an embassy control that they handle pretty well.
Yeah. No, hotel control.
Hotel control. Sorry.
And then game 4 they go in and shit hit the fan, Ender. Listen, as someone that's new to watching it, I didn't have a lot of, I got the jets going on in the hot tub, so I don't have a lot of sound. I'm just kind of watching it. I didn't realize the
Here we go.
Impact.
I'm in the hot tub.
Listen, I know my life is horrible.
Like, good Lord.
My life is horrible.
Whine a little bit more, why don't you?
But until, you just recently explained, you can kind of go through it here, watch a little bit of gameplay right now. If you're listening to audio, you can jump over to our YouTube feed. You can see a little bit of gameplay here. This is game 3 where they're down 2-0. But in that game 4, a lot of history was made, it seems.
Well, there was a lot of history in that series in general. So in the series in general, Dashy set 3 records. In the series, he set the record for most damage, which was just broken in the Major 1 by Scrappy. So like, boom, here comes someone breaking it. And Dashy, again, the one that they wanted to get away, the one that was an alternate on the team that only came back because Scump retired, is putting on a show here.
Listen, he's mic dropping
in this one
people
here. So he is like, he's taking what Scump told him to heart of like, don't ruin this opportunity that I'm giving you to come back and play. So he is flying around. Most damage in the series, most kills in a series of 115, and then most kills on a map, 41. So he drops all of that in this series here, and the 41 was just, that's just up there in the CDL. Like, these are pros. That's like me going into shipment and dropping 41. Like, that's the only place I'm dropping 40 plus kills is in shipment, not on
with 75 deaths.
Yeah, with 75 deaths, not playing against the best players in the world. So, I mean, just unbelievable. There was also a couple more records set in this series, and again, you get a reverse sweep, you get a lot of games, like you got a lot of gameplay. They're two good teams, so they're also not winning these games fast. They're going deep in each game. They're going rounds. So you had not the most first bloods by Abizi. So Abizi drops the most first bloods of 9. And then you get most times first blooded in a series, which goes to Shotzi. So I really want to know if Abizi got Shotzi 9 times and one other person got him. Like, that would have been crazy if Abizi got 10 for 10. Like, they were just complete opposite. It was just Abizi getting Shotzi every time.
Yeah.
That would have been that would have been great. And then total number of engagements from Simp in 237 engagements. So that is getting involved in a fight. So like Simp is always in there, and I'm telling you, when you watch him play,
Simp and Celium were having good games for the most part as this started, and then they
Simp
started to
is
slip
always
a little bit.
involved in something like that. I'm not surprised to see him take that record because, you know, and you watch the whole thing, but I'm telling you, every time the you go to the commentators, they're talking about Simp's involved in this gunfight. Simp's involved that.
Simp's over there.
Always.
Let's see if Simp can get this. We'll see if Simp can get that. Yeah,
I mean, you're talking about, again, you know, the top 5 guys in the league in Simp. Celium, so Simp, Celium, Abizi, and Slasher, that roster is just nasty. But for OPTIC to pull off the reverse sweep to get the number one seed
going
in
into
the major starting this weekend. So the major
starting
starts
tomorrow.
Yeah. So starting on the 2nd,
they play LA Thieves in their first game.
So they're going up against the Thieves. So they're going up the reigning champs. So you got them against the reigning champs and the Thieves. And if you want to watch, I don't like plugging a lot of other stuff, but I know J God did, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
If he wasn't afraid to do it,
watch Scump's watch party. If you really want to like understand what is going on in the game and like call outs and rotations, and I'm telling you, the hour and a half that I watched, I learned, for even being a fan of it for a while, learned more about the game and the way it's played and the amount of just things that these guys have to remember on rotations and what the call outs mean. It's just really good to watch it. And they have a lot of giveaways. They're doing tons of giveaways.
There's a lot of incentive.
Hector definitely hooked Scump up there, and they're giving him all kinds of stuff that you can give away. Oakley sunglasses, anything that's sponsored by OPTIC, they're freaking giving away. So definitely tune in. And the craziest part is Scump had 82,000 people watching him on the watch party, and the CDL only had like 50,000 watching them.
Yeah, he topped off the list.
They were even talking about it in as the commentators. Hey, everyone watching over there, you pull up another screen and watch us too. Like, come on, guys, it's not just
help
there.
us out a little bit,
but I'm really, really looking to see what these guys are going to do on LAN, though, because again, this is online. They're not at LAN, so let's see what happens when they get on LAN and see if they can start flying again. I think they're just going to get better when they get on LAN. Normally you don't see great players get worse when they move to LAN. They normally get better. But that means all of them are getting better.
All of them are going to get a little bit better. Plus, I think this gives a couple of days for people to really see how OPTIC's playing. Obviously, things changed with Scump not being a part of it, right? Like the strategy, who was doing what roles.
Oh, their vetoes are completely different. Their breakpoints are different. They are a much better search and destroy team, and even Scump himself was like, they're going to be phenomenal at search and destroy now, because he hated search and destroy in this game, because basically you just crouch and sound whore the whole time.
Yeah,
and you hear something at that
almost
point.
Too slow for him.
Yeah, it's not his gameplay. Like, I always think of not comparing myself to Scump, but in that aspect of hating to not be constantly moving. Like, I understand what he's saying there in this game of like, you have to sound whore. There's just no other way to do it. Really looking forward to this weekend. I'll definitely be watching at least the OPTIC games. I'll try to catch more if I can, but OPTIC LA Thieves round 1. of the Major 2, which is being held in Boston, I believe.
Yeah.
And then Major 3, are they coming out to your neck of the woods in Texas?
They're coming to Dallas, Major 3, yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be the one hosted for OPTIC Texas. So are you going to be taking a trip over there?
We'll see. It's not the easiest.
Are you going to get a live stream? Are you going to get a live stream from?
I doubt we'll get a live stream. I mean,
come on, son.
If our following was a little bit bigger, maybe I could go up to Scump when he's there. Supposedly he's going to be in person, and I could be like, "Hey."
Oh, he's going to. I think he's going to be there. We'll find out in this major because he's supposed to be traveling with this major too. Because they said they're bringing the entire watch party with them to the majors. The only reason they were doing it at the compound was because it's online anyway.
Gotcha.
So they're supposed to be taking it with them. And obviously the CDL supports them. You know, the CDL needs Scump to stay involved. Like they're really making sure Scump is around and a name that's still there.
Absolutely.
Unlike some of the other retirements where the CDL league was just like, "Up, see you later. You know, go do your own thing." They're keeping a hold of him as much as they can because they know that following follows.
Well, the more
Scump.
they keep him involved, they're actually bringing other people back around a little bit. Some of their old names are starting to, whether they're jumping in with Scump or they're playing with Scump on the side and other game modes. You know, he just started playing some Warzone with Nade Shot, and that was ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I mean, Nade Shot didn't really go away. He decided to make LA Thieves and
but it's just interesting to see it branch out a little bit more, I think. And so CDL, in my opinion, is smart to hold on to him because he's bringing probably more attention to the CDL, to the random Call of Duty fans that have, like myself, that hasn't been there in a while.
Yeah, I think the watch parties are definitely helping out with that. And then also I think you're seeing some, like you're saying, some of the older players come back together. There's some bridges trying to be mended between Scump and Crim6 too. Like they've been talking about playing together, and the whole thing between them was they never disliked each other. They're just two competitors playing professionally, and you're gonna have that headbutting that happens when you get these type A best players in the world personalities together. You're not always gonna have, you know, smooth sailing between them, and some guys can't play on the same team. They just can't. Obviously Scump and Crim6 and Nade Shot all had success.
Maybe that's our problem.
We can't play on. We can play on the same team. You just don't play well enough.
You don't play the right way.
I don't play the right way. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't play the game the right way.
When you have bad comms, that's a stupid game. F this game. When anyone else has bad comms,
I tell you all the time. If I make something stupid, I'm the first one to tell myself that was stupid. That was on me.
Yeah, but that
I
takes
have no
away
problem.
The
I have
joy
no problem
of
calling
me
out.
yelling at you. Like,
but
you get to yell at me.
Because I'm not the one that's going to go like this, just sitting silent and act like I didn't do something stupid. I'm going to be the first one to put my hand up. My bad. I fucked that up. That was my bad. Where you would just be like, "Oh,
angry.
It's the gulag. It's the other players. Oh, and you couldn't hear anything." You're the last person to blame yourself. I'm the first person to blame myself.
I'm definitely not the last person to blame myself.
You are the last person.
If it's just between me and you,
maybe. You will sit in silence and act like nothing happened, and the guy made the greatest god play in the world when you really fucked up.
He probably did.
He did. Yeah, after your fuck up.
I mean, if I make the greatest god play when someone else fucks up, I get banned. So
you did. I kind of wanted to get into our next topic, which is the James III banning for hacking. James.
Wow.
Why have you been turning on the hacks? What is getting you banned here?
Listen,
James officially got banned from Call of Duty.
It already got unlocked though.
Already. Who'd you have to call? Who's the inside track you have here?
With my
what account did you reload it to?
No.
Come
on. Yeah, so I just had it was the middle of a solo game. Up there kind of on the top levels of that spot we like to drop into that house to see if the white chest there on the far left side of the map. And I end up with a sniper. I go by my gun. And so I do have my sniper, and then I have a random Finnick ground loop. So a loadout drops, and the signal
50 configured to the super fast.
So a loadout drops, and I go all the way to the top side in the desert area, out in the open, up on those cliffs. And I was like, "Oh, there's the loadout." And this guy drives up in the car, so I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna snipe him real quick and then go get his shit." Well, For someone that reported me from cheating, I wish you could see the whole clip because I missed 3 sniper shots at the guy about
post
50
the clip,
meters.
post the short. Did
I
you
wish
record it?
I wish I'd had the whole thing
it's
recorded.
Always, isn't that how it always is, guys out there? Oh, I didn't record it.
But
I wasn't cheating, but I didn't record it.
I'm saying I missed him by a mile. I was like, wow, I deserved it. So then he starts melt. He gets me down to nothing. So I've only got 2 plates, so I replate. I'm laying down on the cliffside, and literally the guy could just stay by the box and wait for me to pop up. And he's gonna drop. He's got his RPK out, whatever. This guy decides to get in the car, starts driving towards me. Obviously, I can see that on the mini map. He's coming up the hill, so I smoke it just to give myself a chance. I'm figuring, okay, maybe I can run away. But then I was like, well, I'm out in the open. I can't run away. He's just gonna get out of the car and shoot me. So in the smoke, I spun around and threw the drill charge at him because that's all I had on me. And the stuck symbol came up, and I thought to myself, no way that just happened. So then we down each other at the same time, and he goes to res. But remember, I stuck him with the drill charge, so then it spins up. Drill charge finishes him. I revive, and this guy raging in the voice chat, just screaming immediately, "You're a fucking cheater, blah, 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 blah. I'm reporting you, I'm reporting you, I'm reporting you." Boom, game crashes. Then I get that thing, I sent you the text that you have been permanently banned from Call of Duty.
Perma-banned from Call of Duty
mid-game.
For what is it, 45 minutes to an hour?
Yeah, it took about 3 hours for me to get I immediately put in a support ticket.
Yeah, well, that was fast response stuff from support, because normally that's about 12-hour process. So if you play long enough, you're going to get a lot of people who mark you for cheating, because they just do every time. There's so many players out there that every time they die, it doesn't matter, the person's cheating, there's no way someone that isn't cheating would kill me. I only die from cheaters. So when you play Call of Duty, my account's been banned twice. You finally got hit with one there, and you just have to put a support. So if anyone sees that permaban, I kind of want to let you know it's not a permanent ban. Put in the support ticket that's in the bottom
thing. I'm assuming
it's just from Ricochet. So you get to a certain level of I'm assuming a certain level of the amount of reports within a small period of time, which we've been playing a lot. So I'm not surprised,
because people just report you anytime they're mad that you killed them.
They report you that you're mad, and you're a good sniper, so a lot of people report snipers.
Yeah.
All the time. Like, everyone assumes that the sniper is hacking or something. There's no way they're gonna hit that shot when I didn't move
come
for
to think
8
of it,
seconds.
I did kill someone from far out right before I went over to get my loadout.
I think it's Ricochet.
Possibly I got reported back-to-back times in the same game.
Like how many kills you had, how much damage, how the games have been going, like all of that together, Ricochet is gonna ban you. But what I'm trying to say is, you just put that support ticket in, and they pull up the footage that you get banned from, and a human watches it, and then they normally instantly are like, no, there was nothing sus there. The guy just got stuck. He was just mad. So they have all of that. I've had it happen before. I got banned when Ricochet had the 10 kill problem.
Oh, that was brutal.
So I
dropped
never hit
12. That because I couldn't get 10 kills.
Dude, I dropped. I have a floating scale. I start off super well, and the longer we play, the more bored I get and the worse things happen. So my first 2 games are always the best games. So if you're gonna come watch a stream, watch my first 2 or 3 games. Anything after that is pathetic. Don't watch anymore. But I hit the 12 kill mark in a single game in duos, and instantly banned. It was 12th one shot, hit him, dropped. 4 hours later, it was unbanned from it. And it was a shadow ban, though. That wasn't a perma ban.
Oh, yeah.
So that threw me into the 280 ping servers where you couldn't get anything.
That's so dumb.
For them to investigate. So it was stupid, but I've gotten that, and I got a true perma ban from a scenario kind of the same as yours. Like, I remember it because it was in it was original for Dance, and we weren't even playing together here, but where the police station was next to all of the buy station was right there.
Yeah.
In the storage units.
Yep.
Well, I was on top laying down, and the guys were shooting up at me. It was a team of 3, and I just threw like Simtexes off of it, not even looking, and squad wiped them all with Simtex.
Oh,
2 Simtex
no.
landed and blew them up, and then they all reported me, and I got banned. I'm like, I was just lobbing them, guys. There's nothing I could do.
Yeah, they're just running into them basically.
Yeah, because they ran into the storage unit hiding, and I just chucked them in, but I was laying down, so they're like, who threw it? It was a cheater, it was a hacker. I was just laying. I just knew where it was. I was just chucking them over. So that was fun. Anyway, moving on.
Speaking of Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, yeah. Okay, let's get into Call of Duty news.
The new map. Your first initial thoughts?
New Resurgence map, and what is it? What's its name?
Ashika Island.
Ashika Island. It looks cool. I think it's like the most detailed overhead map we've ever had. Like they have a lot of detail in this picture. It looks like some of the points are pretty cool. We have like a farm area. The castle looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm interested on like how you can get up on the castle. The beach club, the port looks cool. Shipwreck. I mean, it's pretty much standard stuff.
Yeah.
There's a shipwreck, there's a port, there's a town center, there's a beach club, and a farm area. I don't know how big it is. I can't really get the scale, the feel of the scale here from these pictures, and even from this trailer clip that we have, I don't really feel that. I know there's an underwater way. Oh, there it is. Okay, so yeah, we have this underwater way. I don't know if I like that. I don't like when they have these underground areas because it always turns into some weird circle mechanic. I mean, so we'll see how that plays. I'm just not a huge fan of it, especially in a game that's so fast paced as Resurgence. But I do think it would be a great place for Trex to hide while I go and die all much on the top.
I do like that it is cool that they made it free. You know, it is part of Warzone, so it is free. So it's kind of funny. It's almost like they got to remind people that it's free. I'm sure it's going to have its issues. Probably the underwater area, the circle closing on top. People are going to be like, this isn't this. I just give us back our old map, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I'm not worried about the old map. I just think when you have tiered levels like that aren't buildings, it becomes super weird with circles, just depending on how it closes.
Are you a fan of the Resurgence game mode?
I'll be honest, I don't think I've played it enough to say yes or no.
So I'll say this.
I mean, I love multiplayer, and it seems just like the multiplayer version of a battle royale, so I don't know why I wouldn't. But I also know it doesn't have SBMM, so I really like that.
I like that, but sometimes I wish you could just I wish you had the option to play Resurgence or the full BR rules. Where
on a smaller map, so just like a mini royale.
It's less people, it's mini royale, but it's a different map. You know, PUBG does that. We'll play one game, we're on the biggest map there is, and the very next game we load into, it's on the tiny map, and there's half the people, and it's different strategies for different maps. I think it would be really fun, but I get bored really quickly with this because like you can kill the same guy over and over and over and over and over and over, and then when he finally kills you, you get team wiped, so you're out for the game. That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different game mode. It's a different strategy. It's it's fun, but I don't think I put enough time in it to really say like this is a great game mode or not. Honestly, we played Plunder more than anything else for our constant killing. We would just go fucking snipe off hills and stuff to level weapons. I think the no skill base gives you pretty much a content machine. You can kind of go in there, and if you look at the end of the last Warzone 1, it was really everyone playing Resurgence because that's all that there really was for them to play. So I don't know. I'm not against it, but I will play it to get the feel of the map. But I do like your thought process there of just, have a multi-map rotation. Like, I don't know why it has to be this complicated and why they won't do it. Because they have the map, just limit it to 50 people on the map, whatever it is you're going to do.
And they do the same rules.
Just as the regular BR. And you already have a map ready to go.
I'm not saying do that instead of Resurgence. There's a massive amount of people that like it.
I get what you're saying there.
So I don't want to take, I'm not trying to take anything away from anybody, that's for sure. But it just, I would like to be able to play the game that I like to play on a second map. And then because they do resurgent game modes sometimes on the big maps.
Yeah. So they should be able to port it over. And again, I don't know what I would love to sit down with somebody from there and have them like really explain what their adversity to having multiple maps for battle royale is. I mean, I don't get why, because every other battle royale has multiple maps except for Fortnite. But well, Fortnite has changed their map every season.
Fortnite and Apex are kind of the same. They constantly just change their map nonstop.
Well, Apex, I believe you can load into different maps each game. It's not the same one the whole season.
I don't remember.
I think there's 2 or 3 that you choose from and rotate between them. I could be wrong there. I don't play it. But Fortnite, it's pretty much each season you're getting an update or a change.
An update to the map, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a brand new map in it right now.
And while we're talking about Call of Duty, just a quick little mention, they did also eliminate Birdseye.
Well, they removed Birdseye to fix it, and you'll have the patch coming out the 15th. And I completely agree with that move from them.
Just get it out
of the game. Don't worry about trying to hot patch it.
I wish they would do that with a lot more. When something feels super broken, just take it out.
Well, they do. They've done that a lot, but I mean, they have to like. It's not just a simple just remove it from the game, like delete this thing from the game. There's
like
other things
take out the
break.
RPK, just remove it.
Oh,
you know, I'm just kidding. I don't really care. The problem with here's the problem with the RPK.
The guns are relatively there's 4 guns that are meta.
Here's what I'm saying. The problem with the RPK and the Fennec, everyone going meta, is
I don't even think the Fennec's meta right now.
Is what we were used to with by the time Verdansk and Caldair ended. We were used to them changing the meta every mid-season. So we've been stuck with. It's not that these things are so overpowered, everyone that they're ridiculous. They're just the meta. The problem is that when we did the mid-season update, we didn't get a new meta, and now this season got delayed. So it's just
too much broken to worry about weapon tuning.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's one of the most extended metas we've had.
We got something for 3 months. Call of Duty fans are done. Yeah. We can't handle it. 3 months of the same thing.
But I think that's all that really. I think that's all that really happened. Is it just got stuck.
I personally don't think the RPK is the best weapon in the game. I think the actual
it was
AK,
the quickest weapon that people could figure out. I think.
Yeah, I think the AK is there. I think the TAC is obviously not as fast killing as it, but it's a laser beam. I don't think the Fennec's meta. I feel like the Lockman's much nicer, and the Vazdez is a faster killing weapon too, and holds more ammo and has better range. So I think it just I think it's play style. But if you pick up an RPK and a Fennec, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be able to win any fight out there. But I don't think I actually like the TAC V. It downs faster. You gotta know how to control it. Like the recoil's insane on it, but if you can control it, you're 2-tapping guys if you get a headshot in there.
Yeah.
So you're down in people super fast, like you should be able to with snipers, James.
Well, that's yeah. Oh, stop. I'm not even gonna get in no sniper talks for me today.
I had to lay it in there.
They just have to
change
about 15 more days. 15 more days. But I bet you they don't. I bet you they don't change the snipers. They haven't mentioned it once.
I thought you weren't going to talk about it. I thought you weren't talking about it. If they were going
to change it, they would have mentioned it.
I thought we weren't talking about it, James.
All right. Up next.
But you get your gulag, okay? You're going to get your gulag.
E3. Are you a big E3 fan, Ender?
Thrizzle. No.
I thought you were.
Don't fucking care.
Did you used to be?
Not well. So when I worked at Best Buy. So I worked at Best Buy for about 7 years.
Okay.
So like it was my first job. So get cheap video games, cheap things. I worked at Best Buy back when CDs were a thing, people. So we could get all that stuff for super cheap, great discount. E3 was huge because man, our bosses would go and they would come back with a ton of stuff. Demos and posters and everything that you could possibly want from all these things. And then kind of what we're going to talk here, people stopped showing up. It didn't become that great of a thing. Everyone kind of had their own event that they wanted to do. And it just kind of lost its luster. I mean, it's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
I wish it could go back to that trade show that everybody showed up with. I think COVID hurt it huge.
I mean, it was already hurting before.
It was already hurting, and then you know, I don't even know what it costs for one of the vendors to be there, but obviously it was cheaper for them to make their own show.
Well,
than
here
it
we
was
got
to show up to one.
Yeah, so officially Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony are pulling out again.
So who else is there?
Well, in all fairness, other than Nintendo not being there,
is this the indie show though? Now is this really?
I don't know. But here's and Microsoft's not been there for a while. A lot of people they didn't used to have a booth, but they did their conference at the Microsoft Theater over by the Staples Center, LA Live, I think is what it's called. But they and Sony has pulled out I think even before COVID, Sony stopped going. So, and they do their own thing later. But here it is, the E3 people respond to these guys not coming. They say E3 has a rich history within our industry, and we are always heartened to feel the passion for the show and hear what it means to different people. Reviving a trade show after a 3-year hiatus and a global pandemic was always going to have its challenges, which is why we conducted an extensive search in consultation with the ESA member companies to identify the best partner to produce E3. In selecting ReedPop as our partner, we have been able to tap into their rich history of hosting popular industry events like PAX and broader consumer shows like Comic-Con. That's the statement in response to those guys not coming. Now, from what I understand, a lot of the vendors don't care for ReedPop and how they manage everything. And I don't know if that's just a scapegoat for them to, like, these guys feel bad because E3 was the place that you went and it was all about dominating the show, put everybody on a neutral playing field. And now I agree with you. It probably does come down to money. It's about owning the moments. Nintendo always finds their way, but they have their own niche. Sony has completely vacated the entire month, basically. Or week.
Yeah, but I mean, that's
and
Sony. At some point, someone's going to piss Sony off and they're going to take their ball and go home.
I mean, they do their own event and they do their own PlayStation Direct style events, and they're very successful at that. And now Microsoft is in this. Microsoft usually has a good conference around E3. They'll do their conference during E3, of course. And then EA hasn't been a part of E3 for a while. A lot of people are surprised about that. They're there. They're just across the street at their own EA Play event. So I'm with you. Like, Bethesda's not going to have a conference. They're a part of Xbox. So I guess you got Ubisoft.
I don't know.
But again, people get confused because these conferences are all around E3. They think that it's E3, but it's not. It's just at the same time. Because
who knows?
EA
there.
will have a conference,
I really
but it's not
haven't
at
put
E3,
a lot of stock into seeing what's there. And again, like, I've never been to one, so I think you've got to go to one to really experience what it's all about. But if they feel like ReedPop's going to be able to help them bring it back, I mean, Comic-Con obviously is not going anywhere anytime soon. So if they were part of running those things, then you got a chance. But I do think it comes down to, cost and return. These guys feel like it's not worth going to the event anymore. And at some point, I kind of look at it like you start, if you're a maker of some good, you always start at like the conferences and the events and the trade shows and things like that. And you end up growing out of that.
Yeah.
And you don't need to go to the trade show anymore because you're your trade show.
Yeah.
You're bigger than that. I mean, even look at Apple. Apple was the same way, man. They were indie. They hit every trade show that you could possibly be at, did all that stuff. And then they reinvented the launch of their products by doing it all on their own because they got to a level that they could do that. So I think you just have these gaming companies that have so much money behind them. Do I need E3? Like, do I need you anymore? And if I don't, then I'm just going to save the money and do it myself and get a better return on my investment. And I don't blame them.
For sure. I don't blame them at all. The only thing that bums me out is it does feel like a hit to, gamers. It was, like you said, like I said, it was the event that got me to tune in. I used to watch all even the PlayStation. I don't have a PlayStation. I'm not the biggest PlayStation fan, but man, their conferences.
But you also got to remember, man, we've been doing this for a long time. So those days of us remembering this, of what it was, that was early 2000s. Like we're not talking like, we're talking 15 years ago.
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So people grow out of these events, and if the events don't change and continue to draw the popularity that they used to, or the need, or continue to bring mid-level players to the game and not just focus on your large guys, so when they walk out the door no one's there to fill it in. So yeah, we'll see there. There's not much you can do. I mean, it's a trade show. They all end up dying off at some point anyway.
Yeah, trust me, that's my real job. Working trade shows. So I have definitely seen, especially them, just any trade show in general coming back from the pandemic has not been easy. It's hard to get people to come out to them. It's hard to get the vendors to fill them. And it's just
I've learned how to do my research without needing them. So now I can do it from the comfort of my home. I don't like,
yep.
We catered towards that to stay alive for a while, but we didn't. Some of these companies and players just didn't adapt to that world. We're starting to see things come back, and I think you're going to have more in-person stuff. I think Trex and I actually went out to a friggin' flea market and trade show not too long ago, because we're just like, we want some human interaction.
Yeah.
Everything's stupid overpriced. We weren't going to buy anything that we were there. Like crazy price pops, all different kinds of, it was just old school toys and stuff. So just everywhere, like antique toys and things like that. Just took my daughter with me. But just to have the human interaction with somebody and to talk to somebody and see people out, it was like, oh, this is crazy. This has been a while, but it wasn't as big as it was when we went before. Like it's still hard to get some people out there. So we'll see. I am interested to see what comes from it and what all the events are and what people are talking about, but I'm not making the trip out there.
All right, enter my last topic.
Our last topic. I don't have anything else.
You got nothing else. So this is just more of a PSA, just an announcement for people that if you are still using an Xbox 360 in the marketplace, first of all, congratulations.
So I had to read this twice when you sent it to me. I'm like, why the fuck do I care about 360 Marketplace?
So listen, all you need to know is that 46 games are about to be delisted from the Xbox 360 Marketplace and on February 7th, so in a week. What this means, and this includes games like Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, Jet Set Radio, a bunch of the Assassin's Creed games, some of the old Call of Duty games, Counter-Strike, Daytona USA, the Left 4 Dead games, Limbo, the Mass Effect 2. So some big hitters, Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars KOTOR 2, things like that. The biggest thing that you need to know,
South Park: The Stick of Truth.
South Park: The Stick of Truth. Yeah. Ever. So you can see some of these games as we scroll through. So basically, if you have the game purchased, you can still play it. If you have the disc, you can still play it. And also, if you're not on the 360 Marketplace, you can still get all of these games on the Xbox One and Xbox Series S and X. So it's just more of a, hey...
Most of those are on Game Pass, aren't they?
Most of these are on Game Pass, correct. So basically what they're doing is they're just telling you, hey, listen, we're delisting a lot of this stuff. I think is just cleaning. I'm guessing this is a tech thing. Ender, you might know a little bit more about that. Why they would delist stuff to clean up the back end of things is that maybe they're shutting down the 360 servers eventually.
I mean, it might be something to do with just decommissioning and space and cost. But 47 games is not much when you talk about the size. Well, they
just did a big dump maybe 3 or 4 months ago as well. So this is the second time they're doing this.
Yeah, but like, in all honesty, these games are what they would fit on a regular DVD back in the day. Some were 2-sided, 9-10 gigs a game.
Yeah,
it ain't much space. Like, I mean, the cost of running it probably isn't that high, but I think you're probably looking at the push to decommission the entire marketplace. Like, you're going to see the entire marketplace go, and they're going to decommission it and just be like, we're done with it. You have to kind of move forward. You're going to start seeing, I think you're going to start seeing more people take the Apple approach to things as they move into the cloud and services of like, you got to upgrade and move forward, guys. Like, we can't continue to have this backwards compatibility through all of these different consoles and things like that, because the infrastructure cost is just too high and there's no point in the maintenance.
Yeah.
Like, there really isn't. I mean, when did 360 come out? Like, we're what, 4 consoles, two consoles
2000, 2002.
Yeah, the fact that people are still out there buying things, playing on it, like,
yeah, good for them.
move on, guys, move on. We're on like Skate 6 now, not Skate 2. But again, if it's your favorite game and it's a console you like, it's the only one that you can afford, great. I love seeing people game. But I think you're going to start seeing this stuff of like, you got to move forward with the hardware. But if Microsoft does what it wants to do in the way it should do it, hardware isn't going to matter because you'll just play it through your TV and you'll just have to buy a controller and you just pay a couple of bucks for a Game Pass and you get all these things there anyway. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right. This was a quick Two Dudes That Game podcast. That's James the Third over there. My name's Ender. Have a good night, everybody. Keep gaming.